In a remote African village, a stormy night had wrapped the land in darkness. Thick clouds covered the sky, and the sound of thunder rolled across the hills like a warning of something powerful about to happen. The wind howled through the tall trees, shaking their branches as if nature itself was restless. Rain began to fall slowly at first, then harder, tapping against the dry earth and the fragile roofs of small mud houses. The village, usually full of quiet life, now felt tense and still, as if everyone was waiting for the night to pass. At the edge of the village stood a small, humble mud house, its walls worn by time but still standing strong. A faint light flickered inside, struggling against the darkness outside. This house, simple and silent, was about to witness something life-changing. While the storm raged outside, a different kind of storm was building within those walls, a moment of pain, courage, and new beginnings. The air felt heavy, filled with both fear and hope. Nature's chaos outside seemed to mirror the intensity of what was about to unfold inside. It was not just another rainy night in the village. It was a night that would be remembered, a night where life would fight its way into the world, and everything would change forever. Sparkles. Inside that small mud house, a woman lay on a simple bed made of woven straw and thin blankets. The faint light of an oil lamp flickered beside her, casting soft shadows on the cracked walls. Her breathing was heavy, uneven, and filled with pain as waves of labor moved through her body. Every few moments, she gripped the edges of the bed, trying to gather strength for what was to come. The air inside the room was warm and tense, carrying the quiet urgency of the moment. Outside, the storm continued to rage, but inside, all attention was on her. Drops of sweat formed on her forehead despite the cool air slipping through the small window. Her eyes were half closed, yet full of determination. She knew this pain had a purpose, even if it felt overwhelming. Each contraction came stronger than the last, like the rising tide that refuses to be held back. A worn cloth rested beside her, and a small bowl of water had been placed within reach. Everything in the room was simple, yet carefully prepared for this moment. There were no machines, no bright lights, only courage, instinct, and the quiet support of those around her. In that fragile space, between fear and hope, she continued to fight through the pain, holding on to the promise that soon, a new life would enter the world. Sparkles. Her name was Nala, a name spoken softly in the village, yet carried with quiet strength. She was known not just for her gentle smile, but for the resilience hidden behind her calm eyes. From a young age, Nala had learned to endure life's hardships without complaint. She had grown up watching the women of her village carry water across long distances, tend to their homes, and still find the strength to smile at the end of the day. Now, it was her turn to step into that same circle of strength. Tonight was different. Tonight, Nala was no longer just a daughter or a young woman. She was about to become a mother. As she lay there, fighting through the waves of pain, memories flashed through her mind. Her childhood, her mother's voice, the stories she had heard about birth, courage, and survival. She remembered how the elders used to say that the moment a woman gives birth, she is reborn herself. Her hands trembled slightly, but her spirit remained steady. There was fear, yes, but also something deeper, something stronger. It was the understanding that this moment, no matter how painful, was also powerful. Nala wasn't just bringing a child into the world. She was stepping into a new identity, one shaped by love, sacrifice, and unbreakable strength. And even in the middle of the storm, she held on, because she knew this was only the beginning. Sparkles. Outside, the thunder roared louder, shaking the ground beneath the village, while flashes of lightning lit up the sky in brief, blinding bursts. The storm showed no mercy, growing stronger with every passing moment. Inside the small mud house, however, a different battle was unfolding, one far more intense and personal. For Nala, every breath had turned into a struggle, and every second felt longer than the last. Her chest rose and fell rapidly as she tried to steady herself. Each contraction came like a powerful wave, crashing through her body without warning. She clenched her teeth, holding back a scream, then finally let it out as the pain became too much to contain. It felt as if her strength was being tested with every passing moment. The dim light of the lamp flickered wildly, as if it too was fighting to stay alive in the storm. Shadows danced across the walls, mirroring the chaos both outside and within. Nala's fingers tightened around the cloth beside her, her knuckles turning pale from the pressure. She tried to focus, to breathe, to hold on. In that moment, there was no past and no future, only the present battle between pain and endurance. And even though it felt like she was breaking, deep inside, Nala knew she was becoming stronger with every breath she took. Sparkles. The village midwife sat close beside Nala, her presence calm and steady despite the chaos of the storm outside. Her face was lined with years of experience, and her eyes carried a quiet wisdom that brought a sense of comfort to the room. She had helped bring many children into this world, and she understood both the pain and the miracle of this moment. Carefully, she placed a reassuring hand on Nala's shoulder, guiding her through each breath. Leaning closer, the midwife spoke in a low, gentle voice. "This night won't be easy." Her words were not meant to frighten, but to prepare, to remind Nala that what she was facing required strength, patience, and courage. She adjusted the cloth beneath her and checked everything with practiced care, making sure that all was as it should be. The room remained simple, yet every movement carried purpose. The small bowl of water, the folded cloths, and the dim lamp all played their part in this quiet struggle. The midwife's calm instructions cut through the tension, giving Nala something to hold on to besides the pain. With every passing moment, she encouraged her, reminding her when to breathe, when to hold on, and when to push. Her voice became an anchor in the storm, steady and unwavering. And even though the night felt long and uncertain, her presence made it clear Nala was not alone in this fight. Sparkles. Nala's cries echoed through the small room, sharp and raw, blending with the booming thunder outside. Each wave of pain struck her body with relentless force, making it hard to think, hard to breathe. She gritted her teeth and closed her eyes, trying to focus, trying to summon the strength she didn't know she still had. The pain was overwhelming, but so was the determination inside her. Every few minutes, another contraction would come, stronger than the last, as if testing the limits of her endurance. She clutched the cloth beside her so tightly that her knuckles turned white, her muscles trembling from the effort. The storm outside seemed to mirror the storm inside her body, each flash of lightning and roll of thunder reflecting the intensity of what she was experiencing. Despite the fear and exhaustion, Nala refused to give up. She reminded herself why she was enduring this struggle. Soon, she would meet the tiny life she had been carrying for months. That thought, small yet powerful, gave her courage to continue. With every cry, every shuddering breath, she fought through the pain, holding on to hope that the end of this battle would bring more than relief. It would bring a new beginning. Sparkles. As the labor continued, the door creaked open slowly, and a shadow appeared in the doorway. An old woman from the village stepped in, her back bent with age, but her presence commanding a quiet authority. She moved carefully to Nala's side, carrying with her the wisdom of countless births she had witnessed over the years. Her hands were steady, her voice soft, yet firm, and immediately the room felt a little calmer. She placed her hand gently over Nala's and said, "I'm here to help you. You are not alone." Those words, simple as they were, carried a weight of reassurance that cut through the fear and pain Nala had been feeling. For the first time since the night began, she felt a thread of calm weaving through the chaos. The old woman guided Nala through her breathing, reminding her to focus on each wave, to trust her body, and to let go of the tension where she could. Her presence brought not just physical help, but an emotional anchor, someone who had seen the miracle of birth many times and knew how to guide both body and spirit. In that small, dimly lit room, surrounded by shadows and the distant storm, Nala realized she wasn't alone. Help had arrived, not flashy or loud, but steady, wise, and unwavering. Sparkles. The old woman leaned closer, her face lined with years of experience, and spoke softly, sharing a story that made Nala's heart tighten. "When I was your age," she began, "my mother brought me into this world during a night much like this one. The storm raged outside, and I cried as I entered life, but my mother's strength carried me through. Life has a way of testing us, child, but the pain you feel now is the beginning of your own strength." Nala listened between her cries, the words sinking deep into her mind. She realized that this moment, as terrifying and exhausting as it was, connected her to a long line of women who had endured similar struggles. Their courage ran through her veins now, a quiet but powerful force that gave her the determination to keep going. The old woman's hands guided Nala, adjusting her position and offering gentle encouragement. Every word, every touch, reminded Nala that she was not alone in this battle, that the pain she felt was not just suffering, but a rite of passage, a transformation. With each contraction, she felt more connected to the generations of mothers before her, and a strange calm began to settle within the storm of her body and mind. By the time Nala realized it, she was no longer fighting alone. She was part of something bigger, a legacy of strength, courage, and life that stretched back through the ages. Sparkles. Finally, after what felt like hours of relentless pain, Nala felt the moment she had been waiting for. Her body tensed, every nerve alive with the effort of bringing new life into the world. With one final, powerful push, a cry pierced the room, a sound so pure and urgent that it seemed to quiet the thunder outside for a brief instant. The baby had arrived. Nala's chest heaved with exhaustion, her body trembling from the ordeal, yet her heart swelled with an overwhelming sense of wonder. The tiny life she had carried for months now lay in the midwife's hands, wiggling and crying, signaling its first moments in the world. Tears streamed down Nala's face, a mixture of relief, pride, and awe. The pain that had felt unbearable just moments ago was already transforming into gratitude. She reached out, and the midwife placed the newborn gently into her arms. The baby's small hands clutched at her fingers instinctively, as if recognizing the warmth and protection of its mother. In that instant, the storm outside seemed to fade into the background, replaced by the quiet miracle that had just unfolded. Nala, exhausted but triumphant, realized that she had survived, and in surviving, she had created life, strength, and love bound together in one fragile, perfect bundle. Sparkles. As the baby's first cries filled the room, a strange calm seemed to descend over everything. The thunder outside softened, and the flickering lamp cast warm, steady light across the mud walls. Nala held her child close, feeling the tiny heartbeat against her chest, a rhythm that seemed to echo her own. In that moment, all the fear, all the pain, melted away, replaced by a quiet, profound joy. The midwife stepped back, smiling gently. "Look at her," she said, referring to Nala. "You did this. You brought life into the world. You are strong beyond measure." Nala's tears continued to flow, but now they were tears of victory, of love, of awe at what she had accomplished. Outside, the storm was still present, but inside, a new world had begun. Nala's heart swelled not just with relief, but with a deep sense of connection to her child, to the generations of women who had come before her, and to the life she had nurtured inside her for months. Every breath she took now felt like a celebration. The room, once filled with pain and tension, was now alive with a quiet, sacred energy. Nala realized that the storm had not defeated her. It had accompanied her into a moment of transformation, marking the birth not just of a child, but of a mother's courage and strength. Sparkles. Nala looked down at her newborn, feeling the tiny body press against her chest, and a wave of awe washed over her. Every ache, every scream, every tear of the past hours seemed to crystallize into this single, perfect moment. She whispered softly, "You are my miracle," and the baby responded with a small, trusting cry, as if understanding the words already. Her exhaustion was complete, yet she felt a power she had never known. The pain had transformed into strength, and the fear had melted into love. She held the baby tightly, marveling at how something so small could carry so much life, so much hope. Nala realized that the birth had changed her in ways she could never have imagined. She was no longer just a woman. She was a mother, strong, resilient, and endlessly capable. The room, which had felt like a battlefield moments ago, was now a sanctuary filled with quiet joy and reverence. Even outside, the storm seemed less threatening, as though nature itself acknowledged the triumph that had just taken place. In the glow of the flickering lamp, Nala felt a connection to all the mothers before her and all the life she would nurture in the years to come. Sparkles. Nala looked down at her newborn, feeling the tiny body press against her chest, and a wave of awe washed over her. Every ache, every scream, every tear of the past hours seemed to crystallize into this single, perfect moment. She whispered softly, "You are my miracle," and the baby responded with a small, trusting cry, as if understanding the words already. Her exhaustion was complete, yet she felt a power she had never known. The pain had transformed into strength, and the fear had melted into love. She held the baby tightly, marveling at how something so small could carry so much life, so much hope. Nala realized that the birth had changed her in ways she could never have imagined. She was no longer just a woman. She was a mother, strong, resilient, and endlessly capable. The room, which had felt like a battlefield moments ago, was now a sanctuary filled with quiet joy and reverence. Even outside, the storm seemed less threatening, as though nature itself acknowledged the triumph that had just taken place. In the glow of the flickering lamp, Nala felt a connection to all the mothers before her and all the life she would nurture in the years to come. Sparkles. Nala rocked her newborn gently, feeling the soft weight of the baby against her chest and the steady rhythm of its tiny heartbeat. She could feel a deep, unspoken bond forming, one that would guide her through sleepless nights, challenges, and joys yet to come. Every small movement of the baby, its grasping fingers, its soft sighs, was a reminder of the miracle she had just brought into the world. Tears of relief and happiness slid down her cheeks as she whispered promises she knew she would keep: protection, love, and guidance for this tiny life. The pain she had endured during labor no longer felt like suffering. It was the price of a profound transformation. She had survived, and in doing so, had become someone stronger, wiser, and infinitely more capable. The midwife watched silently, knowing her work was done, and smiled at the quiet triumph that filled the room. Outside, the storm began to calm, the rain softening to a gentle patter, and the first faint light of dawn touched the village. In that moment, Nala understood that birth was not just about bringing a child into the world. It was about bringing forth courage, resilience, and love, all intertwined in the fragile yet powerful act of creation. Sparkles. That night, as the first rays of dawn peeked over the horizon, Nala sat in quiet awe, cradling her newborn in her arms. The storm outside had passed, leaving the village washed and glistening under soft morning light. But the real transformation had happened inside the small mud house, where fear, pain, and uncertainty had given way to triumph, love, and strength. Nala looked down at her child, feeling a profound sense of connection and responsibility. She realized that the birth had not only brought a new life into the world, but had also reshaped her own. She was no longer simply Nala, the young woman who had lived quietly in the village. She was now Nala, the mother, strong, resilient, and unshakably brave. Every small cry of her baby reminded her of the power within her, the courage she had discovered, the endurance she had shown, and the love that would guide her from that day forward. That night marked more than a birth. It marked the emergence of a woman who had faced the storm and emerged victorious. Sparkles. The village, too, seemed to awaken to this miracle, as if nature itself honored the strength and new life that had arrived. Nala's journey had just begun, but she knew, deep in her heart, that she and her child were ready to face whatever came next, together. Sunrise.